Hi, Tenzin Lamo. Hi, Chukila. Sorry, I mean Venerable Chukila. Venerable Tenzin Lamo. My brain is kind of going 100 miles an hour. I'm sorry. Hi, Bob. Hi, Paul. Dorcas, Drew, Rhiannon. Rhiannon? Yeah, I think I got it right. Kay. You okay? I'm just getting highlighted. Oh, no, you're fine. Thank you. So if you are just arriving and you didn't already hear me, you can go up and light some candles. Feel free to light any of the ones that are on the table up there that are not already lit. We're trying to spread the merit, so, save some for others. For those of you online, there's our beautiful altar set up in honor of our precious and holy guru, Lama Zopa Rinpoche. We are in the process of lighting some candles on either side of the altar that you see there. Marcelo, are you ready for me to get you going for...
I am ready, Linda.
Okay.
Yes, I have the text. I hope it's the same, but we will find the way to go through. Thank you.
Okay. Geshe Gelik has just driven up. Probably be another minute or two. Geshe-la has arrived. Is Don Brown in the room yet? Don? Oh, there you are. Were you going to say a few words to start us off about Lama Zopa Rinpoche? Can you go, like, maybe stand up front so the folks on Zoom can see and hear you?
So my relationship with, I knew I'd get a little bit emotional, but I'll get over it in a minute. But my relationship with Rinpoche goes back like 45 years. And when I think about Kadam Center, I think about Lama Yeshe and Lama Zopa. And of course, His Holiness. But, you know, some of you who've been around a long time, you know, might remember this, but, you know, when we were in the basement and Lama Zopa came for the very first time, and we'd received, you know, the Shakyamuni Buddha statue had come from India. We already had the Lama Tsongkhapa. Anyway, the Buddha statue came, and as we were blessing the Buddha statue, it was a beautiful sunny day, and all of a sudden there was a rainbow over Kadampa Center as Lama Zopa and Geshe Soga were doing the prayers to consecrate the statue. And probably that year or a year later, we asked him, like, what's the best thing we can do to benefit the Buddha Dharma and, you know, help our center grow? And he said, get a Kala Chakra statue about that tall, you know? And he pointed to this 8-foot tall column. Well, didn't happen. Not that big, but we got one. And then the next thing, he loved to put people to work. So the next thing was the Kadampa Stupa. I said, okay, what would benefit the center? And he said, build a Kadampa Stupa. So that took forever to do, but they got done. If you ask him, what can I do? He's going to put you to work. He's going to have projects for his students to build, you know, to stay engaged and to create virtuous karma, because that's how he rolled. Anyway, 3 more minutes, Geshe?
Yeah.
Lama Zopa, he always said he would talk for half an hour and then he would talk for 3 hours. I'm not going to do that. But I mean, just a couple of thoughts. I mean, you know, he was the real deal. I mean, he was a holy being, and most of us don't have an opportunity in a lifetime to meet somebody who 100% walks the talk. And the first, when I was at Copan back in 78, I was, I heard, you know, he comes walking in. The first time I met him, he's only a few years older than I am, by the way. It tells you where
When
I
you
am
take the
in
video,
the scheme of things.
check
But
the video.
this little skinny monk, comes up. I didn't know who he was, and he starts teaching. And everybody's just writing every word down. And then you hear about him. You hear stories like he never lays down. He never sleeps. He does dream yoga if he does anything. And that's true. He doesn't lay down for, I don't know, maybe the last 60 some years. He does his practice. He sits up all the time. He's always, doing his Dharma practice. And the last time Robbie and I went to see him at Navitos in California a couple of years ago, and he has attendance. I mean, he's up all night long doing prayers for his students. Somebody's sick in Singapore, somebody's sick in Patagonia, or somebody's wherever they are in the world. He's always, and his mantra, if you he didn't make any bones about it. He said the purpose of life is to benefit others. The purpose of life is actually to get enlightened, so you really can benefit others. He didn't. A lot of people wonder about what's the purpose of my life. Well, Lama Zopa will tell you in a second. Purpose of your life is to use every precious moment to transform your mind and heart and grow it to become more and more like a Buddha, to grow your Buddha nature. So he was very, and then in a way, his main heart message, you could almost change the name of every Dharma center that he's responsible for, and there are hundreds of them, is for the practice of bodhicitta. That was his main message, bodhicitta, the awakening mind, the altruistic intention to be enlightened. That was he emphasized that so many times, compassion, bodhicitta, wisdom. So anyway, some people ask me, well, do I miss him? Yeah, of course I miss him. I didn't even get to see him the last couple of years, but he will, for those of us who made a heart connection with him, he'll be, it's like Lama Yeshe. He's been gone a long time, since '83, and I think about him every day. And I feel that way about Lama Zopa. I don't think I'll ever not be with, he won't be with me. So, to the degree that we can keep, and to the degree that you have a connection with Lama Zopa, and you can keep him in your heart, he will continue to guide us in our spiritual practice. So it's, I think it's amazing. It's those of you who know anything about the Kadampa Center know that there would not be this place without Rinpoche. So I think whatever, Buddha, whatever benefit that we've received from this building, being in this spiritual community and studying Buddha Dharma, we owe it to Rinpoche. He's the heart of everything that goes on here. And without him, we wouldn't have Geshe-la. He kind of fingered Geshe-la and said, "You need to go to Kadampa Center." So, thankfully, Geshe-la, took Lama Zopa's recommendations, and so he's been here for 20 years. And before that, it was Geshe Soga. So many wonderful teachers we've had over the years. We owe that to, I'll get everything to Lama Zopa. And then before him, Lama Yeshe. I think Robbie is the only other person who met Lamiyeshi, besides myself. And did you ever meet Lamiyeshi Krishna?
Once, only one time.
Yeah. He was the good cop. He was the bad cop. But they together, they were an incredible team and inspired like generations of people. So this morning, all over the world, people are mourning the loss of this holy being, and it is a loss, but it's but he obviously would want us to continue to practice and to put into practice his words. So that's the take-home message, is that we, as much as possible, we continue to put his teachings and pray, that the Dharma will survive, and that we can live, we can walk basically like he did, walk the talk. The words are cheap, but to really be able to live these words like he did is pretty amazing. So we're grateful for you, Geshe.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Thank you very much. Good morning, all of you. Thank you very much for coming. As Dr. Brown explained everything, due to the kindness of Rinpoche, the center is like flourishing and so now today is not the happiest day, one of the saddest day in our life. So now what we need to do, we need to remember Rinpoche's advice: impermanent bodhicitta, altruistic attitude. And remember Rinpoche's advice. So there's many videos you can watch on the FMT website, the Rinpoche's teachings. So the best offering that we can offer to Rinpoche is to remember his advice and try to implement our day-to-day life for the sake of our happiness and happiness for all mother living beings. So that is the best, offerings. That your practice is the best. You are putting Rinpoche advice into your day-to-day life and try to implement and practice. That's the best offerings. So Rinpoche want all of us to liberate from the samsara and achieve nirvana. So Kadamba Center is very much blessed. So Rinpoche came here many times. So we are very fortunate to host the Light of the Path of Retreat 4 or 5 times. I think, so but it's not only center, but Kadamba Center is Rinpoche visited many times. So some of you already received teaching from Rinpoche. So what I'm going to say is including myself, putting my day-to-day life, putting Rinpoche's advice and implementing Rinpoche's advice in our day-to-day life, and remember his advice and keep that in your heart. Okay, so Rinpoche does not need any prayer, but why we are gathering here to pray. So we are hoping and praying Rinpoche reincarnation will return very soon on this planet. So that's what the prayer is dedicated for. So Rinpoche's a quick return on this planet. Okay. Oh yeah. So then again, thank you very much, all of you, for coming here. So now, yeah. So first we chant refuge and bodhicitta prayer. We chant. So follow up by 4 immeasurables. So then the foundation of the good qualities. So whatever then the list and everything after that. Oh yeah.
So turn to page 98 in the Gold Prayer Book. And I think So Geshe-la, are you leading us in the refuge and bodhicitta prayer?
You want to lead?
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can also do.
Okay. Sangye chedan soki chonam la janchu badu dani kyapsuchi dagi chenye gipe senam ji andola penche sangye trupa shok. Sangye chedan soki chonam la janchu badu dani kyapsuchi dagi chenye gipe senam ji dola penche sangye trupa shok. Sangye chedan soki chonam la janchu badu dani kyapsuchi dagi chenye gipe senam gi dola penche sangye trupa shok. Turn to page 37.
Maybe now somebody say in English, but better.
Oh, in English?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll recite this 3 times. Page 34. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. Now turn to page 137. Yes. And we'll read the foundation of all good qualities together. 137. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful, and is difficult to find again, please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes this essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just as a shadow follows the body, the results of black and white karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativities and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Seeking samsaric pleasures is the door to all suffering. They are uncertain and cannot be relied upon. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate the strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. Root of the teachings is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I merely develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, a basis of accomplishing the 2 attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of the Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely our outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay, now let's see. Okay, we're going to page 191, praises to the 21 Taros, and we're going to do 3 rounds. Page 191.
If you are not familiar with the 21 Tara praises, you can just say Tara mantra, Om Tari Tu Tari Turi Soa, Tara mantra, or just meditate or send a positive thought, okay?
From your sublime abode of the Potala, O Tar, born from the green letter tongue, your crown adorneth Amitabha, action mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, Tar, please come with your attendants. The gods and demigods bow to your lotus feet, O Tara. You who rescue all who are destitute, to you, Mother Tara, I pay homage. Om, I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Homage, Tara, swift heroic, eyes like lightning instantaneous, sprung from opening stamens of the Lord of the Earth's triple lotus. Homage, she whose face combines 100 odd moons at fullest, blazing with white blazes splendid, as a 1,000-star collection. Golden blue and lotus, water-born and hand-adorned, giving effort, calm austerities, meditation, patience, her sphere. Homage to Tathagatas, actions tried without limit, relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection, each filling with tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with their feet the 7 worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage worshipped by the all-Lord, Shaka Ane Bamamaru, honored by the host of spirits, corpusers, Gandharvas, Yakshas. Homage with her tray and pay sound, destroying false magic diagrams, her free pressing left outright and blazing in a raging fireplace. Destroyer very dreadful, destroyer of Mara's champions, she with frowning lotus visage, who was slayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart her fingers, adorn her with 3 jewel mudra, lightweight masses all excited, all directions wheels adorn her. Homage she so joyous radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful laughing with tutare, subjugating Mara's devas. Homage she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking frowning with her home sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage crown adorned with crescent, moon on ornaments most shining, Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage she with wreath ablaze like eon denning fire abiding, watch the flip and choice around you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage she who strikes the ground with her palm and her foot beats it, scowling with the letter whom the 7 levels she just conquered. The jet be purchased peace, he whose field is peace nirvana, she endowed with Om and Soha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder, priests whom in knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage to the seed letter of the shape of syllable, whom by foot sampling shakes the 3 rules, Meru, Mandra, and Vindhya, which holding in her hand the hermaphilic form with my spoken tar, totally dispelling. And the keener rise to honor, armored in with voiceful splendor, she dispels wrenchings and conflicts. Homage she is twice bright with radiance of sun and moon, with white sorrow and tutare, she dispels severe contagion. Homage filled with parading, power, set of 3 natures, crystals of severe yakshas, and with corpus supreme today. These praises with mantras and prostrations of Star 21. If you bear with me for a second, I have to go back. All right. Let's see. Oh, my prostrate to the noble, transcendent liberator. Homage, tower, swift, heroic, eyesight, lighting, instantaneous. From opening statements of the Lord ethereal, turbine lotus. Homage, whose face combines 100 odd moons at fullest, blazing with light spaces splendid as 1,000-star collection. Homage, golden blue and lotus, waterborn and hand adorned, giving effort, calm austerities, patience, meditation, her sphere. Homage, crown of Tathagatas, action shrined without limit, relied on my conqueror's children, heaven reached every perfection. Homage filling with tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with their feet the seven worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage worship by the all Lord, Shaka Ani Bamamaru, honored by the host of spirits, corpusers Gadavas Yaksh. With their tray and pace, destroying false magic diagrams, her free pressing left outright, blazing in a raging fireplace. Homage to the very dreadful destroyer of Mara's champions. She with frowning lotus visage, who was sayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart her fingers, adorn her with three jewel mudra. Lively masses all excite. All directions. Homage, she so joyous, radiant, crowding, mending garlands of light, mirthing, laughing with tutare, subjugating Mara's Davis. Homage, she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking, frowning with the whom sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage, crown adorned with crescent, moon ornaments were shining. Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage, she with feet ablaze, like beyond ending, far abiding. Marks of flip and joys around you, ships of enemies destroying. Homage, she who strikes the ground with her palm and her foot beats it, scowling with the letter whom the seven levels she does conquer. Homage, happy, virtuous, peaceful, she who's filled this peace from Nirvana. She endowed with almond soha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage, she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder, breezes whom in knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage to her with seed letter of the shape of syllable whom life at something shakes his 3 rows, Meru, Mandra, and Vindhya. Homage holding in her hand the Himrakun of Devalekha, with white spoken Tara and Pei, totally dispelling poise. Homage, she whom gods and their kings and the Kinnaras do honor. Armored in all joyful splendor, she dispels her dreams and conflicts. Homage, she is twice bright with radiance of sun and full moon. With Vaishara and Tutare, she dispels severe contagion. Homage full of liberating, powered by the set of 3 natures. Yosha Sosa Spirit Yakshas, and race corpus supreme to these praises with her mantras and prostrations of Star 21. All my prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Homage, tower, swift, heroic, eyesight, lighting, instantaneous. From opening statements of the Lord of Theories, turbine lotus. Homage, she whose face combines 100 odd moons at fullest, blazing with my razor splendid as 1,000-star collection. Homage, golden blue and lotus, waterborn in hand adorned, giving effort, calm austerities, patience, meditation, her sphere. Homage, crown of Tathagatas, action strength without limit, relied on my conqueror's children, having reached every perfection. Homage feeling with tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with their feet the 7 worlds, able to draw forth our beings. Homage worship by the all Lord, Shaka Ani Bamamaru, honored by the host of spirits, corpusers Gandhavas Yakshas. Homage with their trained pay sound, destroying false magic diagrams, the free crescent left outright and blazing in a raging fireplace. Homage to the very dreadful destroyer of Mara's champions. She with frowning lotus visage, who was slayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart her fingers, adorn her with 3 jewel mudra. I've been masses all excited, all directions feels adorned. Homage, she's so joyous, radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful laughing with tutare, subjugating Mara's Davis. Homage, she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking, frowning with their whom sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage, crown adorned with crescent, moon ornaments were shining. Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage, she with wreath ablaze like eon denning far abiding. Blessed let the joys around you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage, she who strikes the ground with her palm and her foot beats it, scowling with the letter whom the 7 levels she does conquer. Homage, happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is peace nirvana. She endowed with almond soul. Soha, destroyer of the great evil. Amish, he was always surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder. Praises human knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Hamish Ture with seed letter, alpha shape with syllable, alpha sampling shapes with 3 rows, Meru Mandara and Vindhya. Hamish holding in their hand the hammer point of Deva-like form, with spice book Kantara and Pay, totally dispelling poison. Hamish human gods and their kings, and the king aroused to honor, armored in all joyful splendor. She dispels and dreams and conflicts. Hamish she was sprite with radiance of sun and foam, with high Hara and Tutare. She dispels severe contagion. Hamish full of liberating power by the set of 3 natures, Joseph, the spirit, Yakshas, and raise corporate supreme to these praises with the room mantras and prostrations. LZR 21. Now the prayer of the benefits. Whoever is endowed with devotion for the goddess and recites this with supreme faith, remembering at dawn upon waking and in the evenings, will be granted all fearlessness, will perfectly pacify all negativities, and eliminate all unfortunate migrations. The multitudes of conquerors will quickly grant initiation. Thus endowed with this greatness, one will eventually reach the state of a Buddha. If affected by the most terrible poison, whether ingested, drunk, or from a living being, just while remembering, will one be thoroughly cleansed. If this prayer is recited 2, 3, or 7 times, will pacify all the sufferings and torments caused by fevers and poisons, and by other beings as well. If you wish for a child, you will get a child. If you wish for wealth, you will receive wealth. All your wishes will be fulfilled, and all obstacles pacified. I'll now go to page 198, and we'll chant the Tara mantra 7 times.
Okay. So we'll chant 7 times, maybe recite rest, maybe 1 mala.
Oh, okay, let's see. All right, I'll stop share. Okay. So as Geshe advised, we'll recite the first 7 and the last one together. Om Tare Tu Re So Ha. 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 Om Tare Tu Re So Ha.
Om Tare. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu So. 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 Om Tare Tu Tare Tu So.
Om Tare Tu Re Soha. Okay, so now we will.
Dedication there, one stanza, Tara dedication, Tara dedication. Stanza, the stanza.
It's on page 190.
Page 190 in the prayer book. Okay. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may we quickly.
Tibetan.
Oh. Gewa Okay, and now let's see. The Chenrezig mantra on page 37. 8 times. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om 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 Mani Padme Hum.
Om Mani Padme, 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 Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme, 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 Om mane peme, oh 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 mane peme. Oh mane peme, 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 oh mane peme. Oh mane peme, oh mane peme, oh mane peme, oh mane peme, oh mane peme. Oh mane peme, 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 oh mane. Oh mane peme, 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 oh mane. Oh mane peme, 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 oh mane.
Om Mani Padme Hum. And now the dedication. So I'll share that. And it's on page 246 in the prayer book. It's the dedication verses from Master Shantideva, Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, 246. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled, with the mind laid down by oppression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn be restored. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain. Until then, dispel the miseries of the world. Then on page 198, we'll say some Dharma mantras for Geshe and Geshe Sampo's long, healthy, happy lives. Now Geshe Sampo is in retreat. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tare Tu Re Soha.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So now the service is finished. Thank you. You are welcome to sit continuously. If you want to meditate, say prayers, and please do. Officially, it's over now. Yeah, Robbie.
Thank you, Robbie. I'll just repeat some of what you said for the folks on Zoom. Do monitor the Kadampa Center website as well as the FPMT website for updates about Lama Zopa Rinpoche and what is happening, and advice for prayers and practices can be found on that webpage. And they have a special webpage just for updates. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama did compose a prayer specifically for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and that's on there as well. And there should be an English translation soon if there's not already. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that prayer is for like quick return, to reincarnate. That prayer His Holiness is going to compose. That's for quick return, for reincarnation. Okay. So if you don't mind, how many people met Lama Zopa Rinpoche? Oh, a lot of them. Yeah. So if you don't mind to take few minutes, do you mind? So Rinpoche, probably you know, so the Kadampa Center is like the part of the bigger organization called APMT, which has like 100 and some center. And Rinpoche probably, as Dr. Brown said, Dr. Brown probably met Dr. Watkin, Dr. Brown, so they, and then Herb is here. So there are many, like Joanna, Patrick, there's many of them. So if I forget your name, please forgive me. So the center was started without Rinpoche's blessing. This center will not be here, Rinpoche's blessing. So Dr. Brown and Herb, there's some like earlier founder of the center, they plant the seed, so that now it's grown like this. So Rinpoche, Lama Zopa Rinpoche is FMT spiritual directors. The Lama Yeshe is the founder of the APMT organizations. Then when Lama Yeshe passed away in 1984, 83, somewhere there, so then Rinpoche took over the responsibilities. So then Rinpoche, after that, the APMT organization grew. And as I mentioned before, we are like fortunate enough to receive Rinpoche here multiple times. So then like when Rinpoche comes here, so like just being in the same room with the Rinpoche, that your disturbing thought just disappear. That you can't like think it. It's hard. It's like that's you could say that's the energy, the amount of energy that Rinpoche brings Rinpoche dedicated all his life practicing Dharma, like as Dr. Brown mentioned, hardly lay down, so we are very fortunate. And the Rinpoche, spiritual director of all the FMD organizations. So we, Kadamba Center, follow Rinpoche's advice wholeheartedly. And whatever Rinpoche told us, we try to, how you say, practice. So as you know, Kalachari statue, Kadamba Center stupas, where stupa should be built, all of that. So, and my teacher, so yeah, if you want to know the detailed information, so you can look at the FAMT website. So there's a detailed information about Rinpoche's life stories, FAMT organizations, about Lama Yishis, all of that, okay? Yeah, so then that's all. Yeah. Maybe, so like, yeah, you are welcome to stay. So, and say, maybe talk. So excuse me, so I'm going to leave.
That's okay. So we can stay and gather if anyone wants to share anything about Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And so feel free to stay on Zoom, feel free to stay in person, feel free to head out if you'd like to. And we'll pass around the microphone so that we can all hear. So we'll start in just a second. Kandala, you want to begin that? And yeah, maybe once everyone settles. And I think we should probably stand like up there about where Sandy is right now, so that folks, yeah, Kandala, you have your microphone there. I've got a different one.
Good to go. It's good? Oh, wow, okay. I was a latecomer to Lama Zopa Rinpoche, very much so, not until, what? Am I in the right place right now? Okay. Gosh, I mean, I need a keeper. But what I want to say is that not everybody, well, for me, okay, I'll only speak for myself. Not everybody automatically had this incredible heart connection to Rinpoche. Many people did. As a matter of fact, I vibrated when he was in the room with agitation, and whatever. So but here's the thing, I never had any doubt from the first time I laid eyes on him that he was an incredibly holy being. I don't have the bandwidth to know, but probably enlightened. And of course, Don was in the era where Rinpoche coughed a lot, and sometimes it was really hard to follow him. And then he had this stroke, which really, completely messed with his body. And yet, when he came back from the stroke and started teaching again, he spoke with a clarity and a force that was like unbelievable. So, but here's the kind of mundane thing that, for me, happened with Rinpoche. At the last light of the path, a hurricane was threatened to hit Western North Carolina, and it was supposed to be a doozy. And Rinpoche gathered everybody to do prayers, right? Well, I had the job of doing a lot of errands, and so the next day I was trying to be out and about. Well, Black Mountain lost power for 48 hours. Asheville lost power for 36 hours. The lights never went out at Blue Ridge Assembly. You know, this is a personal story of someone was in the process of chemotherapy, and she wanted to ask Rinpoche for advice, but she knew with the chemotherapy that there's no way she could do the million of this and the million of that and the 100,000s of this that he often recommended. And so the request never was made directly to Rinpoche. Well, she calls me the next day and she says, you know, I was listening to Thich Nhat Hanh, and there was this chant that came on that gave me so much hope and peace. And I thought, well, Rinpoche answered that prayer request. So it was, even though I vibrated, and what I find interesting is when I got the news at 7:40 Thursday morning, when I opened my email from IMI, he has been more active in my life in a positive way than I ever experienced when he was actually alive. And I know that sounds really crazy, but I guess what I wanted to say about this is, do not assume because you don't have an immediately super positive heart connection to a teacher that the teacher, he or she, is not incredibly blessing your mind stream. And so, silly little stuff, but thanks for letting me share. And two resources, the Laudo Lama, which is a book about Lama Zopa Rinpoche, will give you many details on his life and his journey, and including sitting on Lama Yeshe's lap, making noises while receiving teachers from Geshe Rabtin at Buxar. And then the other one is Big Love, which is a 2-volume book, monumental. It's hard to read it because you can't lift it. There are Bibles that are much lighter. And it gives the span of the FPMT and the vision, and thank you. So I apologize for keeping everybody, but that is my naughty nun comments on Lama Zopa Rinpoche and his many gifts.
Thank you, Lama La. If there's anyone on Zoom who wants to say anything, I'll be back at my seat just momentarily, and you can catch my attention on Zoom if you would like to say something. Piggybacking on what Venerable Kondo just said about a karmic connection, I also want to encourage everyone that even if you've never met Lama Zopa Rinpoche and didn't have like a heartfelt connection to him, I would say you still have an incredibly strong karmic connection to him. At one of the Light of the Path retreats, at the end of the teachings around like midnight, he and about a dozen people would walk up the hill to where his house was, where he was staying, and I was one of those people who would walk up the hill. And one night he stopped, and of course this took a while because we all had flashlights and we're looking for bugs and little critters, you know, that were coming out at night, so we didn't step on them. And everyone we saw, we would stop and Lama Zopa Rinpoche would bless them. So this took a while, but it was like the most wonderful experience. I still get goosebumps from it. But my point is, at one point, he stopped and he looked at, you know, about the dozen of us that were walking up the hill with him, and he said, we have all met before, all of us. And there was, in this dozen people, there were people from all over the world. And so I just wanted to share that story with you. And so again, I'll pop on Zoom and see if anyone wants to share anything. But meanwhile, is there anyone else in here who would like to share anything? Anyone? Okay. Do you want?
So when this is something when I was trying to think, what will I say today? What will I talk about? But I got a Christmas card from Rinpoche one year, and I opened it up. It was Merry Christmas, blah, blah, blah. And it said, inside it said, hope you have a happy death. Well, you start unpacking that. That's a big deal, you know? You can have a happy death. That means you have an extraordinary life. So that was a good.
Thank you, Dawn. If you don't mind coming up front so folks on Zoom can see you, and stand kind of like
Okay, I'll do this.
right there.
I'll do this quickly. I was fortunate enough to be able to take care of Lama Zopa Rinpoche up at Light of the Path. I was kind of house mom. And people would come up and they would visit with him, and I would help to do things and just liaison with different things. And one time this woman came, and she was challenged by some family problems that she had. And of course, in this small space, you can hear everything, you can do everything. And he didn't say too much to her at all. And being a person of many opinions, I could feel myself just choking with, you need to say this to her, we should do this for her, so all these things that I thought that we should do. And I'm working and stuff, and they're talking, and he didn't say very much at all. I mean, very little to this woman who was in just major distress. And the next day, so nothing happened. He didn't say anything. The next day, she came back for something else, and he pulled her aside, and he started talking to her and saying the most beautiful things, the most beautiful teaching of everything. She got done, they got done, she left, he came over to me and said, was that all right? I have no clue how he knew. He knew everything all the time. That's just one story. I have a million of them, but it was the one where I just got that he knew everything that was going on.
I went to India. I went to India with Venerable Rabina and spent a couple of weeks at Kopan, which is a totally beautiful place, listening to her teachings. And at Kopan, there's a stupa that's just as incredible as ours, if not a little bit better. And I'm pretty sure that that's Lama Yeshe's stupa. But for some reason, as soon as I heard, it popped into my mind, oh, there'll be a Zopa stupa someplace. And I know that looking at the Lama Yeshe stupa, I think I understand what that means. It's like a representation of the enlightened mind, and just visualizing that will let me become, enlightened, I think. I'm pretty sure. But then for some reason, knowing that there'll be a Zopa stupa and a Yeshe stupa, and I don't know what it is, but just knowing that all the teachings I heard from him, many of which I didn't understand just because I didn't have the karma to, anyway. I understand completely that his teachings will live on with me, and very thankful for everything Lama Zopa told me and everything that he did for this center, the stupa and all the statues and everything, yeah. So it's sad, but I know that all of his teachings will carry on into the future. So there.
Thanks, Chris. Is there anyone on Zoom who would like to say anything? Just unmute or get my attention if you do. Everyone's being shy on Zoom. The shy people are on Zoom. Anyone in here? Oh, thank you,
Linda.
Robbie. Who said that?
I did. Julie.
Oh, okay, hang on, Julie. Robbie's. Oh, you want Julie to go first? Okay. Hang on, Julie, let me spotlight you.
Oh, no, let's don't do that. Can people hear me if I just
Yes.
speak?
Yes, we can all hear you here in the Gampa and on Zoom.
Okay, so I want to just take this moment to thank Don Brown and to tell everyone, especially people who haven't been around for a very long time, that I view Don Brown as like the teacher. Lama Zopa Rinpoche has been, will continue to be our teacher with a capital T. Don Brown has been the teacher's assistant, the teaching assistant, since the 1980s at least. He founded Kadampa Center in about 1993. If it is only because of Don's deep, profound, tenacious, persistent, visionary devotion to his teachers, Lama Zopa Rinpoche and Lama Yeshe, that Kadampa Center exists at all. If it were not for Don and his sidekick, Dr. Watkins, none of us would have met Rinpoche. We would not have Geshe Gelik. We would not have had Light of the Path. We would not have had all the wonderful visits to Kadampa Center on top of Light of the Path that Lama Zopa Rinpoche blessed us with. Don Brown changed my life in profound, wonderful ways. And while we mourn and celebrate our connection to Lama Zopa Rinpoche, I want to hold up for all of us our deep debt of gratitude to Don and to Robbie for bringing us these blessings. I will never cease to be grateful and to remember how much we owe Don and Robbie.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, Rob.
Oh, thank you. Well, just, there's so much that could be said. And just to follow up on what Julie said to some degree, I'm surprisingly not sad in a lot of ways. I mean, I've been thinking about Rinpoche, like I said, since Thursday morning, but there is a lot of rejoicing in my mind. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. And certainly, as Kadampa Center, we can collectively rejoice that we created the karma to have, a connection with Rinpoche that I'll tell you was the envy of every FPMT center in the world. That we were chosen to host the Light of the Path year after year. It wasn't just luck, it was the creation of an incredible amount of good karma. People coming to Kadampa Center when there were only 3 people here, or when the weather was bad, or when you were tired and run down. It just paid off. It was just multiplied 1,000,000 times over. Like they said, we saw it in our lifetimes. They say a positive seeds planted, it ripens, to the nth degree. And we saw that in our relationship with Rinpoche. So just like to bring up the word rejoicing. There's so much to rejoice in now.
Thank you, Robbie. Okay, last call. In person, on Zoom, anyone?
I'd like to say,
Okay.
I just like to say, I'm very sad that I never met Lama Zopa Rinpoche. I live over in Dublin in Ireland, but yeah, he's such a beautiful being. He was such a beautiful being in this world, and he so inspired me in many ways. And even in the morning when I go for my walks, I have this little mantra, from the FPMT that I try and put the bugs under sometimes. So yeah, guys, I feel really emotional. It's difficult to say, but I really appreciate it. Say thank you, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and thank you for letting me join to do that.
We're glad you're here, Dorcas. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. One more.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows that people actually reached out. I had a nun from West Virginia actually reach out to me last night to figure out how to get flowers here today. So it's not just us in our community here, we are a global community.
Okay, everyone, so be sure to check the FPMC website as well as Kadampa Center's website for updates and practices that we can do. We're being highly encouraged to remember bodhicitta and impermanence especially. Okay, thanks everyone. Thank you.